How screwed is DC Films? Why do all their movies suck? How many billions have they burned? How can they fix it? All this and more on today's episode of... Alright, let's dive even deeper into the world of superheroes, where the capes are as flamboyant as a pride parade, the budgets are bigger than the Batcave, and the plot lines are more convoluted than a Riddler's riddle. Remember Shazam! Fury of the Gods? That was supposed to be Warner Brothers' big opener for the year. It was meant to be a lightning bolt of success, but instead we all smelled what The Rock was cooking, a steaming pile of crap. It earned a paltry $133 million globally. That's like Superman trying to leap a tall building and tripping over his own cape. Or Batman forgetting to charge his Batmobile, assuming it is electric, of course. Or Wonder Woman losing her lasso of truth in a game of tug-of-war. It's a bit of a faceplant, to say the least. Then there's the upcoming Blue Beetle. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of a superhero, a beetle isn't exactly the first thing that comes to mind. Nobody likes this version of the character in the comics. Yet they are pushing this on us like the My Pillow guy does with his freaking pillows. And let's not forget about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Aquaman? The guy who talks to fish. I mean, sure, this take on the character is the best you could hope for. But still, it is a guy who talks to fish. It's like Flash deciding to use his super speed to deliver pizzas, or Green Lantern using his power ring to create a giant neon sign for a yard sale. It's a bit of a letdown. The last Aquaman made a shit ton of money, but I guarantee the new one coming out later this year will probably make half. And then there's the grand plan to reboot the DC franchise in 2025. It's like they're trying to put a fresh coat of paint on a crumbling building. The problem isn't the color scheme, guys, it's the foundation. It's like trying to fix the bat signal with a flashlight, or trying to save the world with a Justice League made up of those guys you used to smoke weed with in college and watch Dragon Ball Z with. Nice guys, but basically useless. The truth is, Warner Brothers is trying to juggle too many balls at once. They're like the Green Lantern without a power ring, flailing around in the dark. They're trying to build a cinematic universe, but they can't even get their planets to align. It's like Lex Luthor trying to take over the world with a rubber band and a paperclip. Or like Joker trying to defeat Batman with a whoopee cushion. Which, for the record, I believe he tried. My apologies for the bad comparison. And the worst part. They're planning to release 10 interconnected film and TV DC titles through 2027. That's like planning a trip to Mars when you can't even make it to the moon. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll pull some rabbits out of their collective rectums, or, in this case, a bat out of their belfry. In the world of comic books, anything is possible. But for now, it seems like Warner Brothers is stuck in a storyline of epic failure after epic failure that even the Flash can't outrun. So, as we watch this drama unfold, let's remember the wise words of Alfred Pennyworth. Why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. Here's hoping Warner Brothers can pick themselves up, dust off their capes, and give us the superhero movies we deserve. Because right now it feels like we're stuck in a never-ending loop of Batman versus Superman. And let's be honest, nobody wants that. In the end, the fate of Warner Brothers and the DC Universe hangs in the balance, like Batman dangling from a Gotham City skyscraper. Will they soar like Superman or sink like Aquaman without his gills? Only time will tell. And let's not forget about the other players in this superhero saga. There's James Gunn and Peter Safran, the new DC Studios chiefs, who have the unenviable task of trying to steer this ship out of stormy waters. It's like being handed the keys to the Batmobile after Batman has driven it off a cliff. Then there's Ezra Miller, the star of The Flash, who's been more elusive than the Invisible Woman at a hide-and-seek tournament. With allegations hanging over their head, Miller's been as absent as a superhero on their day off, and yet Warner Brothers couldn't replace them because they're in practically every scene of the film. It's like trying to make a sandwich without bread or a Justice League without Batman. To make up for the absence of its lead, Warner Brothers spent a fortune on TV spots during the NBA Finals. They even had director Andy Muschietti singing praises for Miller, James Gunn saying it was the greatest superhero movie of all time. And even His Holiness Tom Cruise said it was great, but the audience isn't buying it. People are sick of being manipulated. And here's the cherry on top. People might be getting tired of cinematic universes. There have been 55 movies based on comic books in the past 10 years alone. It has become so tied together, yet so inconsistent and self-referential that it is almost a chore to have to remember what each film is referring to, as opposed to just being entertained by it in the moment. So, what's the future for Warner Brothers and DC? Well, they're planning to release 10 interconnected film and TV DC titles through roughly 2027. In the end, it all comes down to quality. If the movie is good, people will watch it. But if it's not, well, you can only convince people to eat a shit sandwich for so long. So, Warner Brothers, here's a piece of advice. Instead of trying to build a universe, focus on making a single good movie. You might be surprised by the results. The last Batman and Joker were great. Singular visions, not connected to anything else. No bullshit interconnected multiverse, no baiting old people with nostalgia, and no confusing the movie-going casuals with stories that only make sense if you have seen the last 5 films and TV series. But what do I know? I am just a guy on YouTube, and that, my friends, is the tale of Warner Brothers. $1.1 billion problem? It's a story of ambition, missteps, and a whole lot of money going down the drain. But hey, at least it's entertaining for the rest of us. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the show. Because in Hollywood, the drama off-screen is always more interesting than the poorly cast, written and directed CGI shock fists they put on screen.